Hey guys, so this is Duel Links Lemon here. I'm going to be going over this deck. It's basically a free-to-play flight control deck, or at least like a very minimally spent deck. So if you're only going through like one of the new box, but you really want to play TGs, you can't really play it with the halberd cannon. It's just not going to be consistent enough with the dinosaurs. You really don't have a way to open up Screw Serpent consistently. So you'd have to use flight control. So that's what this deck's doing. So we can't make the halberd cannon, but it still can make some pretty cool plays. And I actually really like this deck, especially for a free-to-play deck. I'm kind of playing with my dog here, so I'm sorry for the squeaking. So what is this deck trying to do? Well, I'm going to talk about the monsters and the cards real quick. First, I'm going to clear up just real quick how free-to-play this is. Even though I was able to get a lot of this from Dream Tickets, or this was actually from a bundle, so this wasn't even free-to-play, but the rest was from like Dream Tickets and Gems. But the extra deck, I don't have any of the good extra deck cards, so like you see the Stardust Dragon in here. That should be a Brionek, a Coral, a Black Rose, a Hama, the Battle Wasp. It should be so many different cards, so many different ones. It's ridiculous. Scrap Dragon would be a really good one for OTKs. And then the second Star Guardian, I just don't have anything better to run, so that's the same thing. The only core cards from it, if we look at it, are T.G. Blade Blaster. You definitely need this. This is like the whole reason to run the deck. The Power Gladiator, which you need to run into it. One of the Star Guardians for it. Vulcan the Divine, which is really, really good, and also pretty much a staple. And then Malevolent Sin, which I think is also a staple, because I went into this a lot. Screw Serpent can revive Rhino and just not OTK, but kill you out of nowhere. Just 2400 banish a card is pretty strong in the control deck when you don't see it coming. Let's also, real quick, ignore, I think on the screen right now, it has a, I can't see it because I'm looking at the actual Duel Links client, but it has like a win-loss from the stream. I think it actually was more because we played a stream before that, but we only had the last 10 games to go off of, so we were 8-2. But I think on that stream we were actually like 13-4, 13-5. So the deck was more along the lines of like 27 and I gotta see what I said it was, 22-11. So it was more along the lines of like 27-14, maybe something like that. Still basically 66% win percentage. So let's go ahead and look at some replays to see how this deck plays and some of the combos. And then I'll also talk about the card. Well, okay, yeah. So let me finish talking about the cards first. So we have our one Screw Serpent. From Antinomy, we get T.G. Strikers and Rhino. You actually get 3, and so you might want to run 3 Rhino. I'm just running 2. I only have 2, so it's really up to you there. But you can search it, but it's really, because this deck plays 2 different game plans, it's really the main piece of your other game plan. 3 Werewolf, because we don't have the other Rhino yet. I think maybe ideally you play 3 Rhino, 2 Werewolf, 2 Striker. And then 3 Raptor, because we only have 1 of the Drillfish. This is a 1 of, but I would play 2, and maybe even 3, and then just 1 of the Raptor. This card is nuts. This card is really nuts. Flight Control can search it, so basically any turn you can search a... It takes up your normal summon, but it's a 100 destroy a monster on the field during the battle phase, and that's really good. Like, being able to attack through a face down and pop it so Blade Blaster can attack directly is pretty relevant. And this actually comes up a lot, so this is one of my favorite cards. And it took a while for me to realize how good it is. So I think at first I always thought you'd search it immediately with Flight Control and Serpent because you'd want this in the grave quicker. No, you want to keep this in deck, use the Raptors, and then late game search this to pop something. It can be devastating. Like, it's just a 1 card. It's a 1-for-1 basically late game. Like, I was playing a game where they had like 1 Blue Eyes left, and I was able to just use the skill into this and pop it. So that was pretty nuts. Everything else is basic TGs. You have to run TGs for Flight Control, which I can't remember if I said in this video, but if you didn't know, Flight Control allows you, if you run a main deck of only TGs, to be able to trade 1 for any TG that you want, which allows you, if you open up with Raptor and Fish, and then just 1 other TG, Striker, Rhino, or Werewolf, you can change one of those 3 into Screw Serpent and do the combo. And that gives you either the Vulcan combo or the Blade Blaster combo in turn 1. I run 2 backrow removal. If you're going to get this deck, you're going to get an MST from the box, so don't worry about that one. Needle came from a half-off box, so hopefully you have needle sealing because it is pretty important, in my opinion. One of the things that T.G.s does really well is setting and being able. First of all, if they're not set, they can search in the end phase when they're destroyed by needle. But if they are set, and then you needle and then they destroy over it and then you search, it really just starts adding up. And they can punish that because they make good synchro plays. So they can make aggressive plays too, I should say. 2 floodgates, always just a really powerful card. And then 3 karma cuts. Probably my favorite card in the meta. Best card in the game, I would say. Maybe book is better, I guess. But man, banishing a card is just really strong. It's got so much utility. So I really like karma cut. I always run 3 basically. So let's look at 3 replays and talk about these. This replay wasn't that exciting. I looked at it before and then stopped recording because I was like, why did I save that? But this was basically just showing. This is actually a drillfish thing, but we're gonna look at these 3 because I think they're gonna be better. I mean, I saved them all like at the same time, so we'll see. Oh, my dog's going nuts here with his toy. Thank you. You bite my hand. Alright, so we're against Yami Merrick here. No idea what any of these 3 guys are playing. We're going first, so my guess is we probably opened combo if we recorded this. I played like 40-something games, so it's really tough to remember that. When I think it was like 40 games, basically. I think it was 40 on the dot. I think it was 27-13 or 27-14, so it might have been like 41, but. We open up not with the combo, so we're going to see what we do here. You know what? I think I remember what this guy is. This is just some rogue deck, but I think this was just showing how the deck plays 2 different strategies. So while this game's going, we'll just talk about it and what this deck can do. Oh, no, this is Noble Knights. Okay, so this is Karma. Okay, so I opened up with 3 back row. I just set off 3 and keep the Warwolf in hand as Karma Cut fodder. He summons Medraw. Obviously, I don't want that to go off, so when he equips a spell, that's when I chain Karma Cut, so it's a 2 for 2 instead of just playing it on the normal summon. You always want to make sure you do that. Then I get MST, so there's still no monsters. I set MST. Now, he makes a big misplay here, but this is exactly the only time you're going to get value out of MST. Notice how he has 1 back row set, so I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to pause it right here. So when he summons Dristan, I don't have a response. I think I have a Floodgate, which I don't use here, because I don't care about the Dristan. My thinking is I'm going to be able to pop with the MST, basically, whatever Dristan searches, I'm going to be able to pop with MST. So if he searches like a Destiny, he's going to have to use Dristan's effect on the Destiny, but then Destiny will pop itself, and then I can repop Destiny when it comes back on with MST. That's the only way I'm going to get value out of MST in this matchup. So knowing that he has a back row face down, I can't let him have a card on the field with that back row. So when he activates the Glory to the Noble Knights, I'm going to chain. So what would I have? Like Karma, Floodgate, MST, and Cosmic here. So I'm going to chain Cosmic and get rid of this back row before he gets a card on the field so he can't chain it. So that's really important that you chain Cosmic to their back row before they have it if they're playing it off the Noble Knights. Alright, so here he makes a big mistake. He uses the Medraw's effect on itself rather than on the spell. Big mistake. I have MST, so I can chain it. And then because it's chained, MST pops it. Dristan resolves. There's no Destiny to protect it, so Dristan dies. And then it comes back onto the field, but there's no target to equip, so it stays in the grave. So I took that situation against the Noble Knights where I didn't have any monsters and only had like these spells and trap removal. Alright, so this is a perfect time to show exactly how good that is. So flight control there, I get a T.G. booster Raptor. I flight control, add it back. We get a Rush Rhino. Rush Rhino, this is why I was talking about how important it is. 2,000 attack, so out of nowhere, you're playing these back and forth grind games when you don't open up combo with your Karma Cuts, Needle Sealings, and everything else. Then Rush Rhino can out of nowhere just do 2 attacks and win the game. So really, really strong card. I remember it being strong in the TCG for that exact reason. So in Duel Links with the 4,000 life point meta, I think it's really underrated. And I think this deck, if it was optimized and you were not free to play and you could play 3 Serpents, could be really good because getting the Rhino back and having rank 4s is really good. He gets a Meddrot here. I used that Floodgate from earlier, so I opened Cosmic, Floodgate, and Karma Cut. I get rid of the... I have to stop the Meddrot. I can't let him attack over me. I Flight Control again with the Werewolf here, and I get my second Rhino. I could also have gone for, I guess, Screw Serpent would have been the only other thing. Or I could just summon the Werewolf and attack with it, but you never know. Maybe they have Lance. So Flight Control there, gets the second Rhino. Can't stop these rummaging Rhinos. Rampaging Rhinos, I guess. They go right through and tear through the Noble Knights. So that's how you kind of play around Noble Knights a little bit. That was a really fun one. Let's go to the next replay. I'm really curious what these other two are. I don't remember. I didn't remember that one either, so that was fun to rewatch. Alright, so this one... I don't know how these were all so close to each other, because I was playing for so many hours. I think I played for 4 hours total, so I'm trying to figure out how I had so many of the replays right next to each other, but let's see. This one I think she had Fortune Ladies, so this is a rogue deck. This is not a great deck. Here I open up Karma Cut, Cosmic, and 2 monsters, but she's going first, so I guess we'll see before we know if you have combo or not. Just sets a back row. I think I Cosmic and just summon the Rhino, and I do. So Cosmic, like I said, the Rhino presents an immediate threat. And then you can summon the Rhino. I get a Rebirth of Parshath, which is weird. But I could have sworn she was still the Fortune Lady play. Maybe not. We use Cosmic. I think so, because I think she wins here, and I have to opt to not do anything. Because if she wins and I use something, then she just resolves it on another card. So we'll see. Let's fast forward a little bit just to see what she does. Okay, it is win. So here, against Fortune Lady Wind, I decide not to chain Floodgate or Karma Cut. And then I saved the Karma... I was lucky enough to get the Karma Cut, so I'm able to use Karma Cut now, so that the calling can't resolve. But then, unfortunately, he lances. So then the question becomes, should I have Floodgated? Because then I could Karma Cut. If he chains Lance to the Floodgate, maybe. But it's not going to end up mattering, because he's going to attack over the Rush Rhino with his Fortune Lady Every. And a duel that actually kind of looked kind of lost here. But it's very easy for TGs to just come back. I mean, very easy. I'm pretty sure I get a Screw Serpent here, would be my guess. So he attacks. That's going to give me a free search, which allows me to get a Screw Serpent. It is a Screw Serpent. And so this is a perfect example of Malevolent Sin being really, really important. Screw Serpent into Rush Rhino is just an OTK. Or, not, sorry, I always say OTK. It's just a kill. Screw Serpent here also could go into... I don't know. Let's see. I have a TG Striker engrave, I think. So I could revive Striker, summon Werewolf, make Star Guardian bring out Rhino, summon Rhino, overlay. So it's the same play, except you get a Star Guardian. So maybe that actually would have been better. But I ended up just summoning the Werewolf in defense mode because it gets you another search if it's destroyed, whereas the Star Guardian does not. So Malevolent Sin comes, and that's going to be it for Fortune Lady. So really, really good example. Even though it's a rogue deck, it's a good example of how grind games where you're going back and forth with your back row can end up giving you the advantage because your deck searches and can also make a really good card with Malevolent Sin. So let's look now at this last one. I'm really curious what it is. I'm really sad I didn't save this one Blue Eyes matchup from earlier. I'm trying to figure out why I didn't save it, and clearly I did not. So let's see what this guy is. It's funny because I played mostly Blue Eyes, and apparently I didn't save any of the Blue Eyes matchups, but I actually went probably 50-50 versus them. I definitely remember I remember some losses, but I remember a lot of wins. One of the nastier ones was chaining a Karma Cut to an Azure Eyes. Blade Blaster gave this one guy a lot of trouble. So here we open up Needle Sealing, Cosmic. We're gonna go ahead and set, and I think Floodgate too, right? Yeah, Floodgate. We're gonna go ahead and set the Werewolf. And we'll just go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Oh, he goes and plays. So this is a rogue deck too, but this is an example. We're going to speed this up a little bit because it's a lot of just not moving. He goes ahead and plays this plan. I've never played this deck before. I don't know what any of these cards do. I think he's just not very great, but this is going to be a tough matchup because I have a really weird hand to start. So no good Needle Ceilings. Yeah, draw another Karma Cut. I think here. Okay, so Flight Control here for the Rhino. I decided I don't want the Drillfish yet. I'd rather just have the Rhino to beat over it. Now, this was my mistake. I didn't read the card carefully enough. I was under the impression that if it was destroyed by battle, its effect wouldn't activate, but it did. So you'll see here that it summons from the deck. It's during damage calculation that its effect activates, so that's pretty cool. Maybe a better card than I gave credit for. Honestly, I don't know much about this deck at all. I've never played against it before, I don't think. I played against the Neos Fusion version of it, but never against like the full version. But I noticed this trap didn't do anything. It just sat there on the field. It didn't have any effects, so. Here we get a Werewolf, but we still just don't have any good plays, so we just have to sit. So we'll speed up a little bit. We'll see what he does. He summons the Spinanina. I chain Needle here. This is kind of interesting. I wanted to make sure I didn't get any counters put on me, because if this thing has counters on it when it's destroyed, then he gets to special summon. But he special summoned anyway. Maybe not. If this card is under... Oh, okay, that's why it's special summoned, because it doesn't need a counter on it when it's destroyed. I was conflating the two lines. If your opponent controls a monster with a counter. Okay, that makes more sense. So he special summons this from that, destroys it. I mean, it's kind of a cool deck. So this is where I wanted to talk about just how awesome this deck is at OTKing. So he's basically at full life here. TG Werewolf in the end phase will add monsters. Because he killed the Werewolf and the Rhino, I'm allowed to add monsters from my deck to my hand. So I can add the Screw Serpent, and I can add the level 1 Drillfish to get the full combo. So we're going to see what full combo I'm able to come up with here. I'm sure I did a little bit of thinking first. We MST first, one of the back row. I believe they're both Canadius. We Cosmic the other one. So obviously he cannot do anything with these. I summon TG Striker now that I'm convinced I'm going to OTK this turn. Because TG Striker's summoned, we can summon Werewolf. You're just looking at this like, how's the OTK going to come here? This is interesting. These two will summon together. Synchro summoning a Star Guardian, I would hope. Maybe a Power Gladiator. I gotta see now. What is it gonna be? Is it gonna be Power Gladiator or Star Guardian? No, Star Guardian. Okay. And we still haven't normal summoned yet, so we're waiting to see. Star Guardian's effect activates, allowing me to retrieve a TG from my grave to my hand. I get the Werewolf. I normal summon. I special summon the Drillfish. I special summon the Oh, wow. I remember this combo now. I special summon the Werewolf. I then special summon the Vulcan. Now, my timer was going low here, so I just Karma Cut early. And also, I need to do it before his field's open, so he can't chain Canadia. So, that's why I do that now. I special summon the Werewolf. I then synchro into Vulcan, returning the Werewolf. Now, mind you, I still haven't normal summoned yet. I activated Drillfish's effect, and then activated Werewolf off of that effect. That gives me because you need to have something to bounce back for Vulcan here. That allows me to bounce back, and then from there I can summon TG Screw Serpent. Special summons the Rhino from earlier that he destroyed. And from there, the Rhino and Screw Serpent together make Malevolent Sin. Banishes the plant, which I don't know the name of, and attacks for lethal. So that's an example of how this deck can kind of grind a game out for a little while, and then out of nowhere explodes for the OTK. So that was a really fun one. I'd forgotten I pulled that off. I was trying to remember, like, I wonder how I'm going to choose to kill this guy. it's really a fun deck because there's so many combos that you can do. I didn't even show the main combos, which is kind of crazy. The main first turn combo is the Blade Blaster combo. So let's go ahead and look at the other replay and just fast forward it and just see if I make combos there. I haven't opened. I've played all of these games like there's two ways to play basically. You combo. Oh, I'm almost done. Combo, or you do the grind it out and then you explode out of nowhere. And this deck is really good at that, I found. It's actually had a high, like this pretty much got me almost to Legend from Platinum immediately today. I hadn't laddered this month and then laddered, and that deck got me from like Platinum 3 to Platinum 7 with a 66% win rate. So it should basically get to Legend tomorrow when I stream. Oh, I know, bud. It's okay. We're going to play soon, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. I'm going to fast... so we're doing full combo here, so let's go ahead and see what happens with the combo. So when you open up a Screw Serpent and a Booster Raptor, you can do this combo, or a Drillfish, you can do this combo. If you are missing one of the pieces, but you have the other, and you have another TG, you can use Flight Control for the other one. So you can open this combo pretty consistently. I'd say I opened it in about half the games. And the other half of the games, I pretty much went with traps and like rhinos and werewolves. So it was an interesting mix between the two. Hey, bud, we're almost done. My dog really wants to play. He went to the vet today, so he says, I want some attention now. Yeah, we'll play soon, I promise. Sorry about him. So, Screw Serpent. Hey, I know, bud. I'll give you some attention. Get over here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Alright, so we're doing full combo here. With Needle Sealing, we go into Blade Blaster. Because I like being able to chain Blade Blaster to Needle Sealing if I need to against Thunder Dragons. Also, Akiza's usually a Thunder Dragon user, but she has the what grows in the grave, so I don't know what I was thinking here. I thought it might be Rickon, maybe? I don't know what she was using, to be honest. Keeper Dragon for Carrot, Miracle Synchro. Maybe it was Rickon? I just know I killed quickly because like this duel shows the TG Drillfish. So right here you can activate Drillfish, which will special summon a Werewolf off its effect. You can normal summon it too. But Drillfish, because it can attack directly and threaten that monster, so Blade Blaster could have then attacked for lethal, he had to use his trap negate on the Drillfish so that Blade Blaster could then so that monster wouldn't be popped. What he should have done is just let the monster be popped and then use the trap on the Blade Blaster. But in the end, it didn't really matter. You can see how effective Drillfish is at being able to push for damage. And a lot of times, you need that Drillfish just to be able to get lethal. So this was just showing kind of the general combo, which is just the Screw Serpent combo. And turn 1 into Blade Blaster, you'll either do... I think I might have mentioned this, but you either go turn 1 into Blade Blaster, turn 1 Star Guardian and Power Gladiator, so that their turn you can chain Star Guardian to something for Blade Blaster if you need to. Or the last one is they set up just the Star Guardian, the Screw Serpent, and the Raptor and make Vulcan for next turn. And then bring something back, and then you can play Screw Serpent again. That's my favorite of the three. But there's merit to all of them. Blade Blaster by itself can be really effective, just because if somehow they do have double disruption, it could really throw this off, whereas Blade Blaster can protect against double disruption. Because if they have something on their turn that targets, you can negate the first time, and then if they chain book to it or something, then you can, or not even book, like, let's say they use book, and then you negate, and then they chain like a Karma Cut, but you can still negate, like, you can banish yourself to kind of basically negate, and then come back during your standby phase. So that can be kind of important, whereas if it goes to their turn, and then during the standby phase, they just books your Star Guardian, you can't Star Guardian in the standby phase. You have to do this in the main phase. So you kind of can play around like quick play spells by doing that. It just depends on like who you're playing against. So there's like I said, there's merit to having just the field that you can chain to and then make this, and then there's merit to just having this out. I'm kind of split on it. I wish I could say like if there's one correct answer or not, but it's usually just a feel kind of thing. You kind of have to feel the deck, what your opponent has, what your follow-ups are, and kind of get a feel for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I hope more people try out this Flight Control and could optimize it. I really think the optimal build with 3 Screw Serpents, 3 of the Drillfish, maybe like 1 striker, 1 werewolf, 2 rhinos, and a booster raptor would be really nuts. Maybe 3 rhinos, and then make it like a rank 4 engine with synchros would be really nuts, and better synchros too. And then for the spells and traps, run a similar lineup, but maybe cut the floodgates or something. Floodgate was really good, but you could definitely play other cards here. You don't have to play Floodgate by any means. So anyway, I'm going to let it all go there, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys really are inspired to try TGs. They're a really fun deck, so I'll see you guys later.